Welcome back to Dark Corners Streaming.
Ho, 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 shit.
As anyone who subscribes to our channel will be aware, Christmas slasher is not a genre that boasts a lot of quality. But 1974's Black Christmas, as well as being the first of its kind, is also the best.
I'm going to kill you.
The inhabitants of a sorority house preparing to go home for Christmas start getting disturbing phone calls. And the following day, one of their number goes missing.
You see, I was supposed to meet my daughter here at 1 o'clock.
But as they search, we in the audience know what has happened to poor Clare. And the killer isn't finished yet. That's the basics, and it sounds like any other slasher, but that doesn't really convey the content of the film. And it's interesting to note that the things which director Bob Clark and writer Roy Moore do best are the things that the film's many imitators do wrong.
You think it's my fault, don't you?
For starters, this is more concerned with the victims than the killer.
What do you want? Why are you doing this?
It's not concerned with establishing some elaborate backstory for why the unseen killer has a problem with the girls or with Christmas. We're with the girls. Predominantly Olivia Hussey's Jess. We identify with them, we empathise with them, and it's amazing how many slashers don't get why that's important. The film also does a great job with the police involvement, led by John Saxon, which is procedural and believable. So seldom the case in slashers because investigation can get in the way of the killings, which is the advantage of having the phone calls. The killer's importance is only really that he is there, and the film does a great job of making him a presence without showing him. A shadow here, a closed trapdoor there, an obscured silhouette, or a brief glimpse of an eye. Above all, it does this through point-of-view shots. So although, like I said, we're with the girls, we also know something they don't.
Barb, are you awake?
I'm not sure you can even call Black Christmas a slasher. Certainly Bob Clark didn't think of it that way, because that suggests a steady catalogue of deaths, and this isn't that. For the characters, it's a missing person case, a mystery.
Don't you think we ought to look into it, Nash?
What Black Christmas manages to do is harness the tense energy of the first act of a regular slasher film before the bloodbath starts and stretch that out, which is very tense for the viewer because, again, we know what's going to happen. And we are watching and waiting, almost begging it to happen so that tension can be broken.
Phil?
Key to all this is the characters of the girls themselves.
I think the little bugger snockered, son of a bitch.
Margot Kidder in particular enjoying herself immensely. But it's not just that they are good performances. They are interesting and believable characters with relatable storylines beyond being a victim.
You can't ask me to drop everything I've been working for and give up all my ambitions because your plans have changed.
A million miles from the handful of cliches that typically inhabit this type of film, usually in their underwear. Arriving during the slasher's greatest decade, Black Christmas does sometimes get forgotten, perhaps because of the many rip-offs and remakes, one of which we have reviewed for regular Dark Corners. But its influence is unquestionable.
The caller is in the house. The calls are coming from the house.
And it's worth rewatching the original, which is on YouTube at the time of recording, to see why it deserves to be remembered. Thanks for watching. Black Christmas sounds like a gimmick film, but isn't. What other films can claim that? Let us know in the comments below, and have a great Christmas.